I'm going to start taking notes on when
Full screen.
we sync clap time codes because it takes me 45 minutes to fucking find it sometimes.
Because we talked so much shit.
Yeah.
beforehand. Hey, my name's Tate,
And I'm Ash.
and this is NotasFkd.
Hey, we did it. I don't know if that's going to help me or not, but we'll find out.
Yeah, we'll see.
Also, it's 11 a.m. and I'm drinking Maker's Mark and Coke.
Heck yeah. That's the life. I actually got a coffee. I went out and bought a coffee today.
Oh my god.
So I'm feeling like I am on track today for
Well
the
done.
first time.
Oh, that's good.
And like, that's when I messaged you and I was like, hey, I'm set up.
Yeah, you
I'm
were
tested,
fucking
I'm ready to
early.
go.
That never happens.
like-
Usually, like, I get on here 10 or 15 minutes beforehand. And I'm like, oh, I'll just, set everything up and fuck around for a bit, whatever. And I got on here half an hour beforehand. And I was like, oh, I'll edit some of last week's video. And you messaged me at like 10 to, you were like, I'm ready to go. And I was like, what the fuck? I was not expecting that.
Yup.
So that was good. Well done. I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
Let's see how long it
It
lasts.
had to happen eventually. Yeah. But yeah, I'm feeling ready. Well, not ready. I don't think I'll ever be ready, but I'm feeling a little bit more confident today.
Oh, that's good.
Let's see how long that lasts.
Let's see how it
But
goes.
hey, how are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, I am good. For those listening, you really need to check out the VOD because Ash has some sick makeup going on right now.
Thanks.
It looks rad. It's like a cat's eye and then a backwards cat's eye. What's it called?
I don't know.
Cat's eye?
I feel
Cat's
like
eye.
it's kind of Cleopatra Egyptian-y.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah. I don't
for
know.
sure.
I did my eyeliner and then I was like, I want more points on my face.
I want more points on my face.
I want my face to be pointier. So I did that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm excited for next week when you have like the clown ones as well, like the up and down.
I fucking will.
That's yes.
If you
please
do little
it.
tiny baby ones and then you do like a little heart in the corner, that's e-girl from TikTok.
Right. Okay. Excellent. Well,
Yes.
you've got the hair, you've got the slitty.
I do.
So I mean that's the natural progression.
Yes,
It's
exactly.
the next step.
I've got
for sure.
a freckle. I don't know if you can see it on the camera or not. I've got a freckle that's really close to my eye, and I've been drawing over it because it's like a really light brown, and you can't actually see it when I put makeup on. So I've been drawing over it, but I can't get it with a eyeliner or a makeup product that's like fine enough because it's kind of small. So I've just been using a fine liner.
Nice.
So I've just been
Nice.
drawing on my face with pen, essentially.
A good old Sharpie. Yes. That's
It's
what
great.
we want. That's great. How's your week been?
Good. I've been like hyper focused on Stardew Valley, and I can't turn my brain off of it.
Yes.
I have important uni work to be doing, and I just can't do it. I like sit here and I
that important?
stare, and I just can't, like, my brain just stops. You can physically see my brain turn off as soon as I open anything to do with my university. And then I'm like, I think I sat there for like 5 or 10 minutes just blinking at it on Thursday.
Analysis paralysis. Yeah?
I don't know. I wasn't overthinking anything though. I think I just couldn't. I don't know.
Just overwhelming. Just like,
I
you
don't
just
even-
didn't want to just like, no.
Yeah, it was like I have energy, which is unusual for me. And I was sitting there and I was like, oh, I have all this energy. I should just like blitz through some uni shit that I've got to do because
Yeah.
stuff's already late or I've got extensions or whatever. It's week fucking 4. And
Yeah,
I was
nice.
I opened it and I looked at it and I was like, nope.
No.
So I went and sat in the lounge room.
No.
I opened Stardew Valley on my Switch, and I've been playing Hannibal and Cursed in the background while I'm doing that. So that's been my week.
Yeah, nice.
How about you?
That sounds awesome. That sounds like a great week.
I'm mildly stressed about how much
That's
uni
pretty
work I'm gonna slowly build up though, but I'm also kind of like, yeah.
Is that why you're drinking Captains at 11 o'clock in the
I'm
morning?
not drinking Captains, I'm drinking Maker's Mark. Thank you very much. But also,
Sorry,
yes.
Sorry. That makes it so much better.
Slightly
That's
more
like, that's
expensive.
acceptable.
Yeah.
That's acceptable now. Right. My apologies.
It's top shelf whiskey, bitch.
Yeah. Fair enough. Fair enough. It's not with water though. You're not
It's
drinking it with water.
not. It's with
Cola.
yeah. I was like, what's it called? Coke Zero. There we go.
Fizzy bubbly. Yeah, right.
That was hard for me to figure out for a second.
Yeah. No, that's good. My week has been not bad, I guess.
Why was that a question?
Well, in retrospect of everything that's happening in, life at the moment, like, it's not bad. It's just like I just feel as though I'm just being so mentally drained at work. And like the past couple of weeks I've been trying to work from home as much as I can, because obviously, with COVID and everything like that, it's better to be staying at home.
Stay the fuck at home.
Listen up, everybody. Then, when I do go outside, like, I've got my mask and everything, so that's a positive. But yeah, it's been like every other day I've needed to go in for some reason.
Oh, that's annoying.
And it's really frustrating, because then I go in and I know that when I'm at work, I won't leave until super late. So I'll just be working like 12, 13-hour days, and it sucks. But, that actually working the longer days does make it easier for me, like next week, I guess.
Right.
But
you're helping Future Tate.
Future Tate, yes.
But Future Tate will also likely be helping Future Tate, so really.
Yes. It's a vicious cycle. So yeah, I guess I'm just a little bit burnt out from that. But I mean, other than that, like, I'm pretty good.
That's good.
My nose is a bit sniffly, so I'm sorry if I sound a little bit nasally today.
Is that a COVID symptom?
I don't think so. I think it's more dry throat, isn't it?
I don't fucking know. I just know that Victoria's in stage 4 fucking lockdown for the next 6 weeks.
Woohoo!
Woo! So
great.
that means...
Well done, Victoria.
Oh, we've got some fucking morons here. So,
Yes.
essentially, stage 4 lockdown for us means that you can't, unless absolutely necessary, travel more than 5 kilometers away from your home.
Big off.
To go grocery shopping, you have to go one person alone and only once a day. So if you forget something, you're fucked. You can't go back out.
Right.
Exercise and... Actually, I think exercise is limited to one instance. So you can only go out once for the maximum of an hour, and it has to be within 5 kilometers of your home.
Yeah.
And there's a curfew.
Yeah, the curfew.
So you can't be outside after 8 p.m. or before 5 a.m.
Wow.
And you know what?
Harsh.
This doesn't change anything for my life.
No, which is great. But that just means you're doing your part. Right? Without intentionally doing it, you are doing your part.
My mum messaged me and she was like, how are you dealing with lockdown? And I was like, nothing's fucking different.
Fantastic.
My life is totally normal.
It's booming.
And I also figured out that Tanna's work, my grandparents' house and Victoria's house, so like the 3 people that I see the most, are all within the 5 kilometers.
Nice.
So later today, Victoria and I are going to meet up at like a halfway point, and we're going to take Milo for a walk. And yeah, we're going to go walking in a graveyard.
Spooky.
I'm excited about it.
Ooh.
And I'm going to look like this.
Yeah, right.
Yes.
All right. That's cool. Any particular reason as to why the graveyard?
Well, there's also an oval that's in between mine and her house, but we've walked on the oval before and it's just an oval. Whereas the graveyard is new territory and it's fucking beautiful.
Yeah, right.
So we're going to do that.
Yeah, cool.
And Victoria also doesn't have a lot of like open green spaces, so they actually like encourage people to use them as because they are public spaces. They're not private. So they actually, at the start of the year, they were trying to encourage people to have picnics and stuff there and use them as
in the
like
graveyard.
Yeah, as like open park spaces. And I'm so fucking here for it. I'm so here for it.
That's.
I mean, we can't now,
yeah.
but
Okay. Okay. That's.
I guess it's
yeah,
because Victoria's
right.
so built up. But we have heaps of parks and stuff. I guess just, I don't know, they want to make use of it because it's just sitting there not doing anything really.
Yeah. I mean, that's like, do you want to go for a picnic? Not really. Do you want to go for a spooky picnic?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, it's going to go off in October.
That's right.
Yes.
Awesome. Well, hey, what are we talking about today?
Oh, yes. So, I had an idea for a transition, but it doesn't matter now.
Ooh. Star wipe.
Okay. I think Premiere Pro will actually just kick me off if I try and include that in my video.
Star wipe. Star wipe.
So with, like I was saying before, with me being distracted by playing Stardew Valley, and I chose to put something on the background, I was watching, like I said before, Hannibal, and then also Cursed. I thought that it would be cool to talk about sort of our interests in, I want to say cinema, but I sound like a dick. So
cinema. I want to talk about cinema, actually.
And words. I wanted to talk about like our interest in what we watch, why we watch it, and sort of what we watched when we were younger, and if we think it influenced us, if it didn't, and sort of our tastes in film and TV, because a lot of people don't really associate that with anything really, but I think it's a really cool indicator of like someone's personality, and also sort of if you look at it hard enough, this is coming from a film background, if you look at it hard enough, you can sort of see where people's tastes have shifted and changed and sort of been influenced by their lives or influenced their lives in different ways. I just think that's really cool. So we were going to talk about that.
That sounds right.
Yeah.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
All right.
So what do you like to watch?
What do I like to watch?
Yes.
Look, nowadays, I mean, basically, I'm pretty much just like a comedy fan.
Yep.
And like, I will watch comedies. I don't care what it is, how bad it is. Like, sometimes there's comedy movies that
That's
I'm
so
just
trash,
like,
it's treasure.
"Ugh." I mean, not even.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Like, I really enjoy obviously good comedies, but also shitty ones.
Good comedies are good.
Good comedies are good, yeah. But yeah, when you told me about this, I was sort of thinking about through my life, and I was like, you know, how have my my tastes changed and everything like that. And as a kid, I hated scary movies, or at least I remember hating scary movies anyway. And like to this day, I still have troubles. Like when it comes to games, I can't deal with scary games. They just scare the shit out of me, like zombie games and all that sort of stuff. Like,
Yeah,
they're
I'm
so much
similar.
fun. I love playing them, but I just like, it's like, especially jump scares. They absolutely wreck me.
So side note, when I was trying to make YouTube a thing for me before I got lazy, I played Layers of Fear. I played Layers of Fear
What's that?
during October. So it's single player. It's it's very like sensory kind of game. So you have to go and collect like bits and pieces and find things, but there's always like these. You have to sort of figure out what's happening because there's all these like distorted images, and you're in this old creaky house, and you've got to go and find like. You're basically trying to uncover a picture and like paint a picture, and you're finding all about the backstory and stuff, but it's during a storm, so it's very help me. Well, like if something's visual, what's it? What's this?
Audio?
Well, yeah. What's the?
What do you mean?
It's very visual and it's very sound. I don't know. What's the word for that?
It's very sound. Yes.
Audible?
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure what you're trying to get at.
What's the sound equivalent of visual?
We'll cut
Auditory.
this silence. No. Auditory. Right. Okay. Auditory. Yes.
I feel like you should have been able to help me there, and I'm extremely disappointed
absolutely
you
should
couldn't.
have. But I had no idea what you were talking about. You just stopped and just pointed at your ears. And you were like, what's this? I'm like, what?
Well, I said the sound version of visual, and I typed in
Visual.
what's the sound version of visual,
Audio.
and it came up with auditory.
Auditory.
Google
yes,
is-
very visual and auditory.
Yes, so it's a lot about, it's less about like what you're actually doing and more about what you're seeing and what you're hearing.
Right.
And it's fucking
right,
terrifying.
okay.
It's absolutely fucking terrifying because there's lots of dark rooms and all that kind of stuff. And before I could record certain parts, I literally had to take a shot of vodka to give myself enough nerves to play it.
Yes.
And it was
That's
in the daylight. I
fantastic.
forgoed
The
my
Dutch
lighting and I
confidence.
had the blinds wide open. I had my dog next to me and I was still fucking shitting myself. Anyway, sorry. Yes.
No, that's great. That's yeah. I just don't know what it is, but that's what I was saying like last week with the sound. Week before, with the sound thing. We'll talk about hobbies. So it's the week before.
We're going to lose track of this eventually.
And probably like that sound, that audio that comes with games, and then when you like strip away everything and like you just have like there's no soft music or spooky anything, and it's just rain, and then like you walk into like a thick walled room, and then just like the sound dissipates and it's just silence, and you're like, some shit's about to go down. And it just, leaves you that much on edge.
So can you watch scary movies now, or is it just scary games?
Oh, yeah, no. Like, I love watching scary movies. I don't know why or what the difference is, but, like, I just love it. And, like, it doesn't matter what it is, like, horror, thriller, gore, like, all that sort of stuff. I really don't mind it. And that's, like, the original Saw was so bad. It was so bad, but it's so good. I loved it. And everyone was like, "How? How did you like that movie?" I was like, "Well, it was actually like a good premise. You know, it was a good idea."
Yeah.
And then they just made about 100 more of them, and I didn't watch them. So
Yeah, fair.
they actually got like a story behind it, and I'm like, "Ew, come on."
I just want to see somebody fucking with other people for the sake of it.
Yeah, exactly.
Fuck this story bullshit.
But I was thinking about it, and like as a kid, whenever us kids would like act up or anything like that, Mum would make us sit down, and we had like two main videos on VHS that we would have to like just sit down and watch, and it was Calamity Jane.
I love Jenny.
And Seven Brides for Seven Brothers. And if you don't know those movies, oh damn.
Oh, wow.
I mean, Seven Brides for Seven Brothers is like, a lot of people know that, and there's like stage shows of it and everything like that, but man, it definitely calmed us down because we were that bored. It was just like... So, naturally, I hate those movies now. But I was just thinking, like when you watch those movies, like I like really enjoy watching musicals now.
Yeah.
And I don't know whether that's because of, you know, having a sort of like a theatre background, or because of, you know, those type of movies that we had to just watch over and over and over. And it's like that thing of when you know, when a song gets played on the radio so much, like you initially hate it, but then it just embeds
Eventually
into your
gets
brain.
stuck in your head.
And eventually you're just like, okay, this isn't actually as bad as what I thought it was. So, yeah, I'm just not really sure. Did you have anything like that, like as a kid, that like your mum would? Or...
Well, no, my parents would never like force me to watch it. I was an only child, so.
Humble brag.
I don't know. I have a really hard time with friendships now, so I don't know about that. But my dad has a very specific, like, appreciation for comedy. Some of it I love, Monty Python, Black Books.
Yes.
Some of it I fucking hate, and it fills me with just an unquenchable rage.
Yes.
And that's stuff like Mrs. Brown's Boys and Kath and Kim
Kath and Kim.
I hate it.
Really?
I dislike comedy that, I know this is going to, because I hate watching comedies. Unless it's something super old and classic like Monty Python or something like that.
Monty Python's gold, though.
Yeah, exactly. I was quoting it just before we were going to sleep last night. And Tanna's like, shut the fuck up.
That's great.
And I'm probably going to alienate a few people here, but I hate it. Hate Kath and Kim. Hate what's that? I can't even remember what half of them are called because I just don't have room for them in my brain.
Okay.
And it's comedy that is like stupidity.
Right. I love it. Yeah.
You know, like it's not, if it's not clever, I'm just not here for it. And I think Monty Python is clever in the way that it's stupid. Yeah. But I think stuff like Mrs. Brown's Boys and Kath and Kim is stupidity for the sake of stupidity. And that fills me with such a violent rage. Like, I can't explain it. I hate it. Like, it really fires me up.
Yeah, right.
And so I don't watch comedies pretty much ever. Like, it's just not something that I'm into. What I will watch if I want a good laugh is a bad horror movie.
A bad horror movie?
Yes.
Okay. Such as?
What did I watch the other day? Oh, you put me on the spot. I'm bad with titles and stuff like that. I don't know. It was just one of the hundreds of billions of zombie movies out there. I can't find it, and I'm not going to find it because it didn't leave enough of an impression. But
that's right.
It's hilarious to me because coming from the sort of behind the scenes side of film, that's what I see when I see the scenes. I see somebody covered in like maple syrup, fucking fake blood or whatever it is, with plastic hanging off their face, knowing how suffocated they feel. I think about the 45 people standing on the other side of the camera holding lights and people writing things down and walking around and holding booms and stuff like that. And I also think about all the tape and shit that's on the floor so that the zombie without eyes knows where to stand. And I think about them going, wait, what am I meant to be doing? Where am I meant to be going? Yeah. And that's why I find those kind of hilarious, because especially the ones that look really tacky or really old and everything's like practical effects is my fucking favorite. And that's my version of comedy.
What about like the Evil Dead stuff?
Yes. Fuck, I wonder if that's what I was watching.
Evil Dead is fantastic.
Yes. So to me, that's my version of comedy.
Yes. All right. Well, it's kind of like a dark comedy, I guess. Yeah. So stuff like that is shit that I love. That's my sort of relaxing sort of thing that I watch. Or like high fantasy, medieval, nothing that's realistic. Yeah.
You know?
Escape the world.
Well, that, and also just like I look at like
the effort.
Rom-coms and the effort, I appreciate that for sure. But I look at rom-coms or like things like that, and I'm like, you're trying to be real life, but it's not real life, and it's just not done well ever. You know, like it's done well for the genre, but it's not done well for being an imitation of life in any sort of form, to me anyway.
Yeah.
And so like, and I love action movies and stuff like that because that shit doesn't happen. But like, I appreciate the people that jump through the plastic sugar glass and shit like that, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm like, fuck yeah, sure. Imagine that shot. That would have been fucking rad and all that kind of stuff. But I can't sort of get lost in anything that's... I hate romances. Hate them. Can't do it. I'm like, you're all stupid. Nobody does that. I was disappointed in Deadpool when they wove a romantic sort of line in there. Story. Okay. I went to say narrative and story at the same time.
Story.
I like that. When towards the end when it was getting very like romantic, damsel in distress, and like I know it's all part of it. Don't come at me. I don't care. But to me, I was like, this movie didn't need that. You could have happily left that out, but they put it in there for whatever fucking reason. It was unnecessary. Yeah. You know.
Yeah.
And yeah, so those bother me. What was I talking about?
I don't know. To begin with, I was saying...
Why does this happen to me?
Oh,
right, yeah. So my dad used to watch a lot of those dumb comedies, and I would actively avoid watching them because I don't like that sort of stupidity. And that goes for real life too. I fucking have a huge, like, rage towards people that are dumb.
Rage.
People that are just like stupid for stupid's sake, which is really hard to deal with in real life because there's a fucking lot of them.
Sorry.
Not you. You're smart.
I'm so dumb that I'm smart.
No, you're being self-deprecating. You're intelligent.
Thank you.
I like the eyebrow raise at the end
really
there. That was good.
Yeah, that's what I do. My comedy is thought through.
Yeah.
And then I think about it, and then I go, how much can I lower this?
Yeah. So there's doing
comedy.
stupid comedy in an intelligent way, which is what Monty Python does. It's what a lot of my friends do. It's what you do as well. You do that too. And it's like
Stop it.
Usually I rip on you. What's going on? I'm complimenting you a lot.
Yeah.
I think I might be manic. It's the mental illness. I don't like you that much.
There we go. All right,
there it is. People that are, and like a lot of comedians are intelligently stupid, if that makes sense. Like they do jokes and dumb things like that. But then there's things like, to me, Kath and Kim is just stupid making fun of stupid. It doesn't feel like there's any sort of like, you know, intelligence behind it. I really don't know how to phrase it, but.
Okay. Have you ever seen Russell Coit's All Aussie Adventures, though?
No.
Oh! Oh, it's so stupid. You will hate it, but it's so funny. It's so funny. I highly recommend it.
I don't know if you think it's so stupid that I'll hate it. I guarantee you I will not laugh at it. I'll end up raged and in a bad mood. That's how much this shit affects me. Unless
maybe don't.
If you want to risk it, send it to me. I'll watch it later.
Oh, yeah. We'll just avoid that one. We'll just pretend I didn't say it.
But yeah, so that's sort of like, and I don't know why that's sort of like ingrained in me. I guess it's just like a little bit of, I don't know, residual daddy issues or something, but it's just like that was like one of the only things that he would watch, and it's one of the major things I cannot watch.
Yeah, right.
So I don't know if that's related. But there you go.
Life.
So what's something you hate?
Something I hate.
You're not really a hateful person, though.
I'm not really a hateful person.
I am.
It's just that burning rage within. That's all.
It's mostly just ignorance and stupidity. If you want to get on my nerves, that's how you're gonna do it.
Yeah, right. I mean,
but people that troll are funny.
Like that, though. Trolling in the right way. In the right way.
Well, there's
some trolls are just dumb.
There's a difference to me though about trolling for and baiting specifically to annoy someone and saying something dumb and thinking you're right. I don't count them as the same thing.
Okay. Yeah, I can agree with that. For sure.
So to me, trolling is literally posting a comment or whatever it is, baiting for a response to irk somebody. And then being a moron is posting something as an argument, only thinking you're right and not listening to anybody else. So it depends on if you're doing it to prove yourself right or just to annoy the other person. Because if you're doing it to annoy, you're a troll. If you think you're right, you're an idiot.
That's good.
That's why I like trolling. Because I'm like, you're smart, but you're an asshole.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then idiots are just idiots.
Yeah. That's a really good way to put it. Put that.
Thank you. I literally just came up with it then.
Yeah, nice.
Thanks.
Put that all on a t-shirt.
Can somebody do a TikTok of that thing where they take the audio and then draw out the words as it's happening and it looks all pretty? Thanks.
It's not going to be me.
It's not going to be me either. Or anybody else. I just want
Yeah,
to get
let's
it.
get to it. I wouldn't say that I like hate anything. I really like. I'm not a massive fan of like romance movies, I guess. But I wouldn't say like I hate them. Like, you know, if I was watching, you know, a movie or something with someone, you know, it's not like I'm gonna hate it, but I'm not exactly gonna be enjoying myself the most by watching it or anything like that.
Is there a genre other than like romance or a specific movie that you just, and it doesn't have to be a movie, it can be like TV as well, that you just don't like and you don't really want to give any time to?
That I don't want to give any time to. Now you put me on the spot. and now I'm
Haha,
like,
come as a bitch.
Okay. Come as a bitch.
That can go on a shirt, that'll fit.
Come as a bitch. That's great.
Yeah. Talk about stuff you do like then. Because I can go on for days about shit I don't like.
Yeah, look, I mean, yeah, when it comes to things that I don't like there will be, and everyone will, you know, experience these things when you watch a movie and you're just like, okay, well, I'll never get 2 hours of my life back because that movie was far too long and far too dumb. And, you know, you start watching it and you're like, okay, I'll give it another 15 minutes just as a chance. And then something kind of cool happens and you're like, okay, let's see where this goes.
There's
and then nothing
potential.
happens for the rest of the movie. And you're just like, well,
That's when I fall asleep.
good. Yep, just like Cats. Oh my gosh, I fell asleep in the theater watching Cats.
Haven't seen it. Don't really want to.
Ooh. Look, the cast is phenomenal. The dancers are insane. It's great, but it's Cats. There's
Yeah.
only so much you can do with it.
Yeah.
I'm not.
I don't think I can really watch, aside from like, actually I don't know if that's even a musical. Have you ever watched Bedknobs and Broomsticks?
Oh my gosh, like 100 years ago.
Is it a musical?
That show.
Yeah, it is.
don't
It is. It is.
remember.
Animated musical fantasy film. So aside from Bedknobs and Broomsticks and Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, they are the only musicals that aren't like Disney that I can watch on video. Otherwise, I have to see it live. Otherwise, I'm just not as impressed.
Yep, that's fair.
I love Bedknobs and Broomsticks. When I was a kid, somebody thought I was making it up. They were like, that's not a real thing. It's like, it is. I promise you it is.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Shut up. You don't know.
What's something you absolutely love?
Well, like, see, okay, so there's like a couple of movies like through my life that when I like see that like on Netflix again, I'm like, oh my god, how many times have I actually watched this movie? It is honestly countless. Like, there are movies that I would have like on DVD, so we're upping it from VHS.
Oof.
Technology. That I would just have like in my room, just like playing on.
I have
Like,
categories
just on repeat. You have categories.
of things I like. Do you want to hear
What do
them?
you mean? Yes.
So my favorite. So I will preface this quickly with.
Preface.
There we go. You were blurry. I will preface this quickly with, I am very, very good at separating book from film adaptation. A lot of people can't do it, but I regard them as two completely separate works. And I do not hold films to book standards because it's per person, imagination wise, and I do not hold series or anything like that to books or comic standards either.
Right.
Because
Okay.
they're different industries, they're different people, they're people doing it for certain reasons. There are all these different things that you have to think about with a film or a series that you can't necessarily do with a book. I am very good at separating them. I have to
Ultimately,
preface
it's just
that
different
because
forms of media. Like,
exactly, because somebody's gonna fucking come for me if I don't.
Yeah.
My favorite series of no, I do like Harry Potter, but it's not a favorite.
Okay.
My favorite series of any sort of film is Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit.
Okay. Yeah.
I have a
Lord of the Rings is
tattoo of the inscription of the ring from Lord of the Rings on my back.
No way. That's right.
You know that. I've had it since I was like
No.
17. Yes.
No.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, that just tripped me out. Yeah, so I've got the inscription from the ring on my back. I absolutely love it. I have literally watched the Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit in sequence, release order. For
Director's cut?
like, yes. Extended edition, not kidding. I have the collector's DVDs. Tanna bought them for me for Christmas once and I fucking cried. And I will put them on all the time. All the time. If it comes up on a fucking plane and there's stuff I haven't seen and would like to see, or Lord of the Rings, I will watch Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, awesome.
It is my absolute favourite. My favourite foreign film ever is Pan's Labyrinth, Guillermo del Toro.
I'm doing the hands, the eyes thing. Yep.
Yes. I'm going to get a tattoo of the Pale Man eventually. I love it. It's all in Spanish and it's fucking great and I love it. My favourite standalone film is Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Yes. I've seen that a million times.
Yeah, so that is probably where I say that, like, it's intelligent stupidity of comedy. There's a character in it named Slarty
Bartfast.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I have the trilogy in 5 parts of Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy next to my bed right now that I'm currently reading through again.
Yes. Awesome.
That is my absolute favourite standalone film. And I think my favourite, like, action is probably just, like, the Bournes and stuff like that. Like, there isn't a specific one. I just really like that. It's so dramatic. It's great.
Yeah.
It's so dramatic,
Yeah, right.
and there's so much stupid stuff going on, but it's wonderful. And then I don't really have a favourite horror movie. Oh, no, I do. I totally do. My favourite, like, horror thriller scary movie is A Silent Place.
A Silent Place. Oh, this is the new one, isn't it? With their husband and wife. Oh my god, what are their names?
Quiet Place. I'm an idiot.
Quiet Place.
Quiet Place.
Quiet Place. Yeah.
Yeah. Silent Place.
The Silent Place.
Yeah, it's got Emily Blunt.
Oh my god, Emily Blunt.
John
and...
Krasinski.
Yeah.
Melissa St. Simmons, and then Noah Jupe, whatever.
That was
A Quiet
awesome.
Place.
Was
I'm
such
an
a great
idiot.
movie.
I told you I'm not good with titles. Yes, that's my absolute fucking favourite, and I've watched it multiple times, and I think it's wonderful. I have not yet seen A Quiet Place 2. Right. Is it out?
No, neither have I. I think so. I think it came out like a couple of months ago.
A Quiet Place Part 2, 2021. No, it's not out yet.
It didn't.
Oh no,
maybe they were
initial
going
release
to.
8th of March 2020, New York.
Yeah, I thought so. Yeah, I thought maybe they were going to just leave it until COVID sort of dies down a little bit, so people could go out to cinemas to see it or something.
Yeah.
But maybe it already been released. Yeah, and see, A Quiet Place is another thing that it's just sitting there watching, you don't realize, but the sound and the auditory is very important.
I don't think that's
Just
the right
like
use of that, but yeah, I think
I
that
don't
would
know.
just be audio.
I was just saying it again. Yeah. The auditory sensations of, or lack thereeof.
I hate you. You pain me.
I pain myself.
I was drinking when you said that, and it was quite funny.
Thanks. Yeah, and that's what it, and the people who make the sound effects, the like who
Foley?
yeah, the Foley workers, the workers, the people,
Technicians.
that do all of the like the sound effects and all that sort of thing, and just
The sound designers are incredible.
yeah, it's such a good thing. Oh, that was the same thing. Oh, sorry, I'll come back to.
No.
But anyway.
I just remembered. The fuck is that movie called?
Baby Driver.
Baby Driver's good.
Baby Driver is another audio, a movie that has such a great soundtrack, and the timing and everything when it comes to the movement of sound with visual is phenomenal. I really recommend anyone watching it. And I've watched that a couple of times purely because it's such a great movie. It's phenomenal. Phenomenal. This is just us talking about movies this episode.
That's fine.
We're just gonna.
There's a movie.
Yes.
American Animals.
American Animals.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's so good. Okay, so American Animals is from 2018. Yes. Okay, so this is my favorite action crime movie. So it is the movie based around, so there's these two books. Oh, I feel like I have to give you a whole lesson, but I'm so excited. Okay, so there are these two books that were created. They're like the most expensive books in the world or some shit. Queen Elizabeth has one, and the other one is in the Library of Liverpool. It's this massive big, I wonder if I can, oh no, I won't share my screen. It's this massive book with hand illustrated drawings of all the birds in America. And the film is based, I think it actually interviews like the real guys and everything, so it's kind of a documentary, kind of not, about how these 4 teenagers tried to steal it. And it's really fucking cool. It's really cool. It's just so well made, and like tells a story of the crime, and like they try and steal it from this library because it's visiting their school or something like that. So this, I think it was like in the 80s. And like they get guns and all this kind of stuff, and then a librarian comes back in, and she gets shot. There's like a whole thing about like her wetting herself, and it's just like the way that they do it. It's such a small time frame of events, but it's just so beautifully made. My brain is exploding. It's so good. Right. I watched it on a plane, and it's great, and everybody needs to watch it. I think it's a wonderful film.
That's awesome.
Yes. And then I went and saw the book, IRL. I went and saw the book at the Library of Liverpool. It was fucking cool. It's very big. I can see why it's so expensive. And yeah, anyway. I just remembered that one exists. I always forget about certain things, but that is awesome. And that, again, is something that like I can watch again and again and again, because there's just so many other things you notice. And there's just so many things that you sort of feel when you're watching it. And it's just this whole sort of like concentration. I think I like those movies because I like the sort of adrenaline and euphoria you get from them. So I get like nervous and like twitchy, and like I get adrenaline from watching like those action battle scenes and like the intellectual sort of crime sort of stuff happening. That I don't do anything in my life at all to get any sort of rush like that. I sit here and I play this, and then I go out there to my lounge room and do the same thing.
Sweet.
And I think that's why I like those kinds of movies, is because it kind of gives me, oh no, I've got makeup on. Did I smudge it? Oh well. It gives me something that I don't ever get close to IRL, you know? And I think that's why I sort of like those kinds of things. And I think I like them, the ones that are done very pleasing to my brain in terms of like, it's different. It's not like the same sort of thing. I think that's why I don't really like comedies and romances, because a lot of it's the same thing. They look the same. They have the same effects. They have the same characters and actors over and over again. The soundtrack's always really similar. And so I just sort of don't gravitate towards that. But with sci-fi and like these action ones where everything's that little bit different, even if it's a stupid concept, like Annihilation, the Netflix film.
I have not seen it.
Don't.
Okay.
It's a concept.
It's a concept.
It's
That's
good until
good
about
start.
3/4 of the way through, and then it just gets like the weirdest LSD trip you will ever see in your life that makes no sense whatsoever. But it's different, which is why I stuck around to watch it.
I kind of want to watch it now.
You can. We'll Netflix party it. Do you want to Netflix party it tonight? Are you going anywhere?
I'm not.
Let's Netflix party it. Okay, we'll watch it together.
Okay. Sweet.
And you'll just hear me going,
all right, cool.
And Yeah. So I think that's where my sort of gravitational towards to certain movies and things like that is if they're different, and it's not just like a representation of the real world, because like I get enough of that. I don't need it. I don't need more of it.
Yeah, that's
you
fair.
know. Sorry, I feel like I've been talking this whole time.
No, we both have, and that's the point of a podcast.
I know, but I feel like I take up all of the space. I have performance anxiety, and just anxiety in general.
Just anxiety in general.
Yeah.
Okay, so what would you say then?
Bless
Excuse
you.
me, sorry. Oh, thanks. It wasn't. Thanks.
I do it every time. I always say bless you whenever you do anything like that. I don't know why you're surprised still.
I was just clearing my throat. I don't think I've done that. You've said that with it.
I know, you
Anyway.
usually cough when I say bless you.
Yeah, which is fine. You're just trying to look after my soul. So what would you say when it comes to relating like movies with mental health or anything like that? What would you say is either a genre or a particular movie or anything like that that sort of resonates with you or makes you feel like you've already explained, having those action movies and things like make you really like excited and you get that adrenaline and, all that sort of stuff. But is there anything that either, you would watch specifically like when you're, having a bit of a moment, or is there something that you would watch to try and get you out of it, or something that would
So I think that's definitely where
help you
like
through something?
my list of favorites comes in. Lord of the Rings is great for me because when I go through depressive episodes, they're usually quite long. You know what else is long? Lord of the Rings movies. So when I feel like sick or sad or anything like that, I'll put something on that I've already seen so that I can just sort of phase in and out of it or whatever it is. Or it's something that, I don't know, movies like that just make me feel, they make me feel better at the same time they feel like comforting. So like they don't necessarily pull me out of how I'm feeling. They just don't make me feel as bad about feeling like that, if that makes sense. Sometimes I'll get into moods where I just like want to watch action movies because like I don't need to focus on them. Like I can just watch them and enjoy the pretty special effects and stuff. I don't really have to focus on the narrative. And I guess that's the same with some high fantasy ones as well. It's that like I can watch them and just sort of zone out, and I just figured out what I like. I like stuff with story arcs that are quite grandiose. So everything's more in, like, something's really important going on, And they're either like, well, they're usually fighters or like off to do important things. Whereas I guess to me, comedies and romances and stuff like that aren't, super like world-saving kind of important narratives. I just figured out a thing.
Heck yeah.
Something like that happens every episode. I'm like, oh my God, I just learned something about myself.
Yeah. And that's the whole point.
Yeah.
This is great.
But I think that's part of the reason is why I like, that I like that kind of stuff is because I like feeling like I'm part of the story kind of thing. And I think that's also why I went into the idea of, like, really like the idea of making film and TV and media and all that kind of stuff, is because then you can sort of be a part of it and help other people feel like they're a part of it too. And I think that's because, like, I was, like I've said in previous episodes, I didn't really have friends and stuff like that when I was younger. I never really felt important. And I guess, like, I think that's why I like, Lord of the Rings and Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy and all of those. Pan's Labyrinth as well. She's, a little girl that's essentially abused and she's a fucking princess. Also, the practical effects are incredible. But I've learned to appreciate them, but I've always loved them, if that makes sense. Yeah. So I've learned to appreciate the effort and style and all the different elements. through uni education and just watching them and stuff like that. But I've always loved them because they're like about, you know, small, I say small, I don't really know how to phrase that, smaller people that aren't that important that turn out to be really important. Oh, when you were a kid, did you ever think that you were going to have magical powers?
All the time.
I did until I was like 17.
I still do.
Fuck
One
yeah.
day, one of these days.
One day it'll
One of these
happen.
days, it'll happen.
Yeah. And I think that's like even the books and stuff that I used to read, that's all that kind of stuff as well. And I think it was just like a way to sort of make myself feel like I was part of something important. I think. Yeah. So I don't really have anything that I watch when I want to calm down if I'm anxious. Like it could just be anything. I think when I'm anxious, it's best for me to play something I've definitely seen before, because then I don't really have to pay attention to it, but it's just like sound and like things to look at. And usually when I'm anxious, I will, familiarity. Like I know what's coming, and I can sort of zone out and do other things. Like I can play on the Switch or play games at the same time, whatever it is. So yeah, there's nothing in particular that I'll watch series more when I'm anxious, and I'll watch movies more when I'm depressed. That's kind of the only really difference in those two that there is. But other than that, I will just continually watch the same things.
Yeah.
But yeah, I used to lock myself in my room a lot and just binge watch series when I was younger, when I was like not feeling great, when I was sad or withdrawing or whatever. I think you were there a couple of times where we just had supernatural binge nights. We would just watch any season of Supernatural. That was like one of the main things I would watch, and I would watch over and over and restart again and again.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you gravitate towards to or away from or whatever it is with certain moods?
I mean, yeah, see, that's the thing. Like, I really, looking back on my mental health state, my mental state when I was younger, when I was, you know, obviously at the peak of depression, I guess. That is when I would have like those movies just constantly on repeat, just literally over and over and over. The movie would play, it would finish, and I'd press play again. And there are...
Do you remember on DVDs when it used to go straight back to the
menu?
The menu, and then eventually if you left it long enough, it would just play?
Yeah.
That was cool.
That was, a thing with like a lot of them, you know, they would just automatically replay. Some of the big ones is Emperor's New Groove. I've seen that too many times.
I haven't watched that in ages.
I don't know if there's such thing as too many, but
There's
Emperor's
not.
New Groove, She's the Man was a great one as well.
It's got Amanda Bynes in it?
Yeah, it's a great movie.
Wow. Is that the one where she pretends to be a football player?
Yes. Yeah.
Right.
She pretends to be her brother.
Oh, and she puts a
Channing
tampon
Tatum
up
as
his
well.
nose when he's got a nosebleed. That's the only bit I remember. Yep.
Yeah. Basketball.
Don't know what that is.
Basketball is by Trey Parker and Matt Stone, the guys that do South Park.
Yeah.
It's it's a great movie.
See, I like South Park because it's intelligently stupid.
Yes. They're very political.
It's great.
Yeah. What else? Just like things like that I would just like in the same sort of mindset like you, like it was just have something on, even if I was doing something else, if I was drawing or writing or just playing games or doing nothing, you know, it was just to have something on. And I used to put on movies a lot to when I was sleeping. I used to put movies on when I was sleeping. And they would just replay over and over and over. And then I'd wake up in the morning and it'd still be going, and then I'd turn it off. And like, I'm not exactly sure as to why there was like a long period of time where I needed to do that. I just like
Couldn't sleep
had
without
something
it.
in my brain. Honestly, it was like,
I was the same.
I mean, like, especially when, you know, you go through those times and you just can't sleep and you feel so lethargic and you just want to rest, but you can't because your mind's running a million miles an hour.
Yeah.
And, you know, you just get stuck. That you just have to try and do something.
That's definitely what it was for me, was that I had to have something playing so that, like, I couldn't necessarily hear my own thoughts. Like, I'd have to have something that I could listen to and fall asleep to and have it continually playing, because the moment it stopped, I would sort of be able to... I would be super self-aware of what I could hear. And a lot of the time that would make my mind drift off to other places. And I'm like, oh, fuck, I said that stupid thing in front of that. Or that person said this to me, especially during high school. That person said this to me, and like, oh, I'm so worried about tomorrow and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, that's definitely when I couldn't sleep. It was because I was too busy listening to my own thoughts. So I'd have something playing so that I had like white noise to drown it out.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess that's the best way to put it. Like, it wasn't necessarily trying to watch that movie, but it was
background noise.
Like, partly it was background noise. It was the white noise that you just sort of needed. That I just needed something to be happening.
Oh my God, you did a me.
My mind just broke.
Yeah. Oh, I'm rubbing off on you. Oh no, this is a bad thing.
Yeah. Well, I feel as though it's a very two-way street. Like, it's happening to both of us for different things. Soon we will become one person. We are Captain Planet.
We would have the weirdest colour hair.
Captain Planet, here. Captain Planet had green hair, didn't he?
Captain Planet.
Where are the Planeteers?
It's kind of like a turquoisey colour.
Planet is the thing to do.
Yeah, it's green and it's also kind of blue. It's turquoise.
So that, yep, that's your head. Mix them together.
Dexter. Sorry.
Dexter. That's great. So yeah, I feel as though like I really do enjoy comedies, because that's like what I used to put on all the time to fall asleep to. Like, it was generally a comedy movie, or like a funny movie, or you know, something like that. Funny is comedy. Oh my God. Anyway,
I need another coffee.
Oh yeah, Susan's wearing off.
Would you say that has anything to do with the fact that like you wanted to sort of be in that industry, or like you wanted to be like that, like the, I want to say funny guy, but I don't want to sound like an asshole.
The funny guy. I'm the funny guy. I sit around and make the jokes. I really feel like it definitely had something to do with it. Because yeah, just watching like, and I used to get this all the time, but I would take on a lot of mannerisms, characteristics from Jim Carrey.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think I would do that too with some, like, if I ever saw like female heroines in my sort of like adventure, I'm gonna call them adventure stories, fuck it, I don't care. In some of my adventure stories, I would take on characteristics and stuff like that from there too. So I think that's definitely something that people do if they want to be more like something or someone.
And that's exactly it, because you don't feel as confident, I guess, about who you are, and you read or view these people in these movies, these what am I trying to say? These
they're like goals.
Heroes, the
idols, representations.
No, the oh my God, the like the hero of the story
character.
Is the you know what? Don't worry about it. You see these people in the
protagonist,
movies or the books or whatever. The protagonist.
There we go.
The protagonist in these movies, and you think like they you know, especially the movies that people start off the underdog. You know, they start off as nothing and they become something. You see them actually making something of themselves and like having a better life, and you're like, damn, I want that for me.
Yeah.
And you're like, I want to, like, either willingly or unknowingly, you take on these sort of characteristics and you try to become a little bit more them and mimic them within your own life. And like, especially like, I'm pretty sure I've seen every Jim Carrey movie, because he's, first of all, he's a great actor. Second of all, he's a great person. He's a really weird person, but he's a great person.
So are you?
You know, sorry?
I said, so are you.
So am I. Ah, thanks.
You're welcome.
Why are you buttering me up so much?
I
this
don't
episode?
know.
What's gonna
Why
happen?
am
You're
I so
gonna drop a bomb
nice
on
to
me.
you all of a sudden?
I don't know, and it's scaring me. Okay, I'm a bit worried now.
Because I'm not depressed today.
No, it's-
I'm not kidding. That's a real thing.
oh, wow. Okay, well, that's good. That's great. That's fantastic. I'm actually really happy about that for you. That's actually great. It's good to hear.
My cheeks hurt.
That's actually really awesome. I'm really happy to hear that.
Thanks.
That's good. But yeah, you see these people in these characters in these movies, and you want to sort of imitate them to become more like them because you don't feel your self-worth is anything. And, you know, you see the movies and things and you compare your life to theirs and you say, okay, I want that. I want X, Y, Z from my life and I want to be successful. I want to be liked. I want to be funny. I want to be heard. So I'm going to imitate them and I will be more like that. And I feel as though that's definitely through my life. I feel as though that's why my tastes in movies, especially comedies, and my taste in comedy has definitely been molded to like that sort of I don't know, molded that way, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly how I'm trying to word this, but
yeah, I get you.
yeah, do you feel like as though you know, because you were saying it's like the heroines and heroines? Heroin?
No, you're
heroin,
right. Yeah, you're correct.
Heroin.
It's just also a
Okay.
drug.
Yeah, okay. That's just like, I was like, it's heroin.
Did you know I'm allergic to morphine,
Right.
so I can never take heroin or I'll die?
I mean, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't get addicted to drugs, kids.
Stay in school, unless you don't want
Stay
to.
in school.
Unless you have something else you want to do.
Yeah.
What? What was the question?
Legit. There's so many other things in life that you could do apart from going to school.
Says me, who just
are
keeps
they-
enrolling in university courses.
Yes. No, but I mean like school.
Yeah.
It's not as important as you think. Mm-mm. It's kind of important.
Unless you
but
go to
not
like a
that much.
Steiner school, that shit's important. That's cool.
A Steiner school.
Yeah, they
That
just
sounds
teach you.
rad. Do you just drink beer?
No.
With
They
your
teach
Stein?
you like life skills, like how to garden. And
A Steiner school. That's really cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
I went to a Steiner school for, I think, only like 6 months in Yelling Up. It wasn't very long. Yeah, they teach you like how to garden and how to repair things. It's all practical stuff, like shit that you would actually need in real life.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's
Anyway.
awesome. Yeah, so I was just saying, what, yeah, are there any people, characters from either movies? Well, probably
I don't
movies.
think so. I think because a lot of the films and stuff I watched, it was more about what they valued and the choices they made rather than who they specifically were. Like in a lot of the films and like, I'm just going to keep calling them adventure stories because I don't know how else to phrase it. In a lot of that kind of stuff, it was more about
That's what they are.
it wasn't about their personality. It didn't matter who they were. It was more just about the choices that they were making and what they were trying to do for those around them. And I think because I was a pretty lonely kid, that made like a big impact on me. That like, I need to get something to fiddle with that isn't Velcro. I need to get cards. Yeah, it was a lot more about, the choices they made and all that kind of stuff. That was the impactful thing on their overall sort of arching story. And like, I'm not really a huge fan of those that sort of change from good to evil or evil to good. Like the actual physical changes or like characteristic changes in the characters isn't really what phases me. With like the exception of in Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, how Arthur goes from like valuing his teacup too at the end. He's like, I don't need to live on this planet anymore. But that's like absurd, you know? But I think a lot of it's just about opening like doors and being open to like going out and doing all these other things and just doing what you want to be doing rather than what you're sort of told you should be doing or things like that. And I think that's more, I don't really have any characters that like I kind of wanted to be. Well, I did for a while, but like once I sort of realized that it's more about wanting to be yourself and being okay with that, that's sort of where I sort of clicked in. And then that's when I was like, okay, I don't have to hide that I like this stuff. I don't have to hide that I have a weird my brain broke. A weird obsession with like, and it's not a weird obsession. I need to stop saying that I like, you know, gothic decor and skulls and fucking styrofoam heads. And I like having unconventional clothing and makeup and hair and tattoos and piercings and just interests in general. And I think that's a lot of what those movies and things like that taught me is, one, a lot of people that I knew growing up, especially like gendering it, I was not really supposed to like the things I liked, or I was discouraged to like what I liked, or I was weird because I liked what I liked because I wasn't liking what the other girls and stuff were liking, you know, or I wasn't even liking what the other guys were liking. I was just sort of doing my own thing.
Yeah.
And I think that was sort of more what ended up being more important from that than sort of me wanting to be like a specific person, was just being like, fuck it, I'm gonna be me and do the things that I want. And it's only recently, within the last year or two, not even 2 years, within the last year, that I've sort of realised that.
Yeah, good.
So, yeah, now I'm all about it. Fuck reality TV. I want to watch a documentary on serial killers.
Hell yeah. Fuck your chicken strips.
Okay.
That's great.
Leave my chicken strips alone.
I'll send that to you. That's good. Okay. Fuck your chicken strips. Don't worry. Yeah, no, that's really good. That's really good.
Yeah.
That's really, really awesome. You know, having that sort of discovery about yourself, especially in the past couple of years, and really getting to know yourself and who you are and being okay with that.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
And I think that that's sort of why I wanted to talk about it today, because that, like, if I didn't like a lot of, like, if I didn't really get into a lot of the films and series and stuff that I liked and sort of thought about them and appreciated them the way that I did, I don't think I would have turned out the way that I did. I think I would have, if I sort of tried to force myself into liking things that I didn't really like because other people were doing it, I feel like I wouldn't have as much of a personality as I do now. And personality is a big thing for me with BPD. It's very often like, oh, I don't know who I am. I don't know what I like, because there's no real consistency. But with movies and those movie genres, the more I sort of think about it and figure out what I like and what has sort of brought me to this point, the more I sort of can figure out who I am and what I like and sort of what I want to exist as. I don't know how to phrase that last bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, so...
That makes sense though. Yeah.
And it's the same sort of thing with you, even though it was like, we're totally different. It's the same kind of thing. Like, you wanting to, I guess, sort of modeling yourself after certain characters and certain actors specifically that were really influential has really helped you figure out who you are and what you want to be and what you want to do and what you like and things like that. And I think a lot of people don't really think about how much the media we consume, and that can be books, TVs, movies, YouTube, whatever it is, newspapers, if you're from the 1800s, that's wrong.
Is it?
Whatever. I'm gonna go. You know, whatever it is, however you consume it, whatever you like, it really does help you shape your personality and help you and sort of mold you in certain directions. So being able to like what you like without judgment is going to is something that I think for me as well would have been really helpful to figure out who I was earlier.
For sure.
And yeah, I don't know how to end it. You can find
Take
us at
17. You can find us at basically everywhere as Not As FKD. So that's on Facebook, Instagram. We have our own website as well, which Ash has whipped up, and it looks awesome. So thank you for doing that. It is incredible, and we've got all of our links on there, as well as episodes and a form that you can, chat to us through. We're also videos on demand for YouTube, so give us a like and a subscribe through that as well. Sounds so wanky. But honestly, it really does help.
Thanks so much for listening. I'm
Thanks
just
so much
going
for
to cut you off
listening.
there. I'm Ash.
And I have been Tate.
And this has been Not As Fucked. See you next time. Bye.
Bye.
Oh, God. All right.